Welcome to part 26 of Blue Balls. Okay, so now we've defeated the fucking boss. And here's the final puzzle in the game. And as you can see, Tail, it's one giant ass room with tons of platforms and switches. So we're gonna be here a while.
And a fuck ton of enemies on each platform. Joy.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have an interesting thing for us to talk about here. Here's an actual interview. Back in 21st December 2006, when the game had just came out in Japan and was going to come out in the West in the following year. So this interview, I think, is quite interesting to read in hindsight, I think. All right, Yubi Sakaguchi, which is
I
HS
have to
there.
get there? Okay.
Oh, you don't? Well, I was thinking since it's kind of hard for Shiro to read this, so.
No, but I
was
thought
going
you were going to sum up. Okay.
Well, we have 32 minutes too. Might as well.
No. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So I'll be Spong and Teo will be Sakaguchi. Even though the Xbox 360 isn't all that popular in Japan, you've chosen to develop games for the format. Why is that?
Well, after leaving Square, I took a break for 2.5 years, and then I started everything again. Although I'd broken free from a company, I realized that I wanted to collaborate again with the most talented creatives I'd associated with previously. So initially I thought, wouldn't it be great to make something with Toriyama-san, Akira Toriyama, Pedro, Dragon Ball, an artist of many Square Enix title. Inoue-san, Takehiko Inoue, famous manga artist, legendary Final Fantasy soundtrack composer, and people like them.
Yeah, wouldn't it be so awesome too for Sakaguchi to make a game with these people? Wouldn't it be so awesome?
At that point, I hadn't considered what hardware we should work with, but we soon had the concept for Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey. And at the time, I had a meeting with Microsoft Maruyama-san, and that was a turning point. I worked with Maruyama-san at Square, and I was also encouraged by the president at Microsoft, Final Fantasy XI's main programmer, and our ex-Square employees.
Do you think Xbox 360 will ever become popular in Japan, though?
There's some really strong 360 software coming from Western developers, and it's impressive to see the worldwide market share what Microsoft has. I think that at some point in the future, those trends will have an effect in Japan, yes. But for the Xbox One to become successful here, it's essential that Japanese games makers participate in this war and keep on facing forward.
So even he admits that it's probably going to be a long ways away.
The miracle never happened.
Maybe eventually, but not looking anywhere close right now.
Not really. The Japan is way too xenophobic.
If anything, it worked on PC because Japan, it's not that big on PC, but thanks to Japanese companies porting games on PC, people are getting interested into Steam and everything. So
heck, Ace Attorney is actually available on PC, but exclusively in Japan.
As far as Blue Dragon goes, what do you think of the reaction from game fans and magazines? How did you feel about Famitsu's 37 out of 40 rating?
Because
as we all know, Famitsu is the most, basically, sure, in case you don't know, Famitsu is the most
Japanese
famous
magazine that's supposed to give quote-unquote balanced and completely fair scores.
But they give but they give basically 10s out of 10s to literally everything.
Yeah, it's almost the anti-IGN in some regard.
Yeah, basically. It's literally IGN's polar opposite. Let's just give everything a 10 out of 10.
Anyway, it had been such a long time since I last worked on a game that I was really anxious before Blue Dragon's release. Even though I gave my all during the development process,
could you imagine if he didn't give us all during the development
I was always worried about how people might react to what I was doing. After all, that anxiety, though, to receive such praise was really a great feeling. Yeah, phew, thank goodness that my terrible product actually was met with positive reception somewhere. It makes me determined to keep putting all my energy into future projects.
Well, I guess he's not lying there, since he definitely put a lot more energy into Lost Odyssey.
And
you see, Shiroi, for as terrible as you think the game is, I want you to know that Sakaguchi put a lot of effort into it.
And that's what it counts?
And that's what it counts, right?
I guess.
I guess for all we know he did, but this just ended up being a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. To be honest, for as much as I joke about how this feels so half-baked and whatnot, for all we know, maybe he did put his effort in, but maybe there was a lot of technological stuff behind the scenes. I mean, Lord knows we have infamous stories like Sonic 06 where a lot of the people did put their all into it, but it got ruined because of Yuji Naka leaving prematurely, and, well... that's sort of a problem.
That doesn't explain the stupid plot points like the one that we saw that broke Theo. I mean, come on.
Again, we have no idea how that stuff may have went, what may have gone, and considering how his later games actually did live up to his pedigree, I might be able to see this one as a fluke. This and Spirits Within, of course, but Spirits Within is a completely... Ha 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 ha!
What were your intentions when creating Blue Dragon? Compared to Final Fantasy and other old RPG series, it's quite different, isn't it? Not really. It's basically a classic Final Fantasy game
I wanted to give players an experience that stays with them even after we turn the game off.
It does!
You succeeded, Pedro. I'm not even and beyond that, I really wanted to make a game that leaves players with a warm feelings once we completed it.
Don't you see, Pedro, the burning fury with...
burning rage or
don't you see, Theo? That's why the final dungeon is of lava, to leave you for warm feeling.
Also, the next boss is a gigantic face with a beard. It's like the master from Doctor Who.
Yeah, here's the cool thing about this boss. This boss is constantly trying to do a status effect on me, but I have a ribbon on me, which means I'm immune to all status effects. Meaning, this boss is going to be constantly trying to status damage me. So he will put me to sleep, and as a result, he will never actually damage me because. So yeah, this boss is. If you have ribbons, this character is. You literally cannot lose at this boss if you have ribbons.
Attaboy, Pedro.
Right.
Okay.
Next question.
What's the deal with Blue Dragon and Xbox Live?
We are still working on various downloadable contents for Xbox Live, and we are also looking to provide an area for user feedback and requests. In fact, Live is a live experience.
For those who don't know, the two pieces of DLC that this game has is the hard mode pack, which has Impossible mode and the New Game Plus option. It's a free download, so don't worry, you can download it for free on your Xbox Live if you want. And the paid one is basically an extra dungeon, basically.
Oh well, no wonder there's no bonus then, since we're playing a DLC mode.
Yeah, we're playing again. The Impossible mode download is free, so you can just get it easily. It's like a 300 kilobyte download or something, so it's incredibly easy to get. Anyway, Blue Dragon is a free DVD game. Do you see the multi-disc nature of it as being unfortunate in any way?
Not at all. In 40 hours of playtime, you have to change the disc twice. Compared with the number of times you turn the console on and off during that period, the disc change frequently is negligible.
I guess it's well. To be fair, it's not like in those old FMV games. Basically, Shiwa, back in the 90s, when you get oh, hold on.
What?
Shiwa says you can hear Jova.
Hmm? Wait, what?
Well, can you talk to us at least?
I wasn't saying anything.
I mean, earlier you were talking because the icon was lit up, but I could still hear Pedro and Tio, just not you.
Oh, maybe that was just catching up bits of the fan or something.
Can you hear Jova now?
Now I can, yes.
I wasn't saying anything that whole time, though. I think maybe it was just catching bits of my fan.
Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Basically, Shiwa, in the 90s there were FMV games where they had like 5 or maybe even 7 discs. Oh, there was one. There was even Black Dahlia with 8 discs. And to give you an idea, Shiroi, back in the day, we knew those games were trouble when we got them because we would have to constantly switch CDs just walking down the streets. It was awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do you plan to expand Blue Dragon for its sequel?
We're still thinking about that, but we're already committed to making Blue Dragon manga, anime, card games. We want to create a complete Blue Dragon world. With Blue Dragon 2, we're going to use those elements to expand the Blue Dragon world in the game, and the style we're using will surprise people.
Guess we never got to see that
spoiler-
sequel come to fruition except in the handhelds.
Well, that doesn't happen, I'm guessing.
Yeah, originally there was going to be Blue Dragon 2, as he explains it, but Microsoft kind of backed down on it.
That actually...
So
Okay.
Musketeers was forced to make the game by themselves on the DS.
So here's what I
as
don't
Blue Dragon
get.
Plus.
Okay. So you said that the game got praised when it came out. Well, are you sure that's really
Well-
the case? Because it doesn't sound like it really sold that much.
Well, it didn't. Well, there's a difference between praise and sales, Joe. I mean, Rayman Origins sold like crap, but it was praised up the wazoo.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it sounds like it wasn't that popular with, I guess, the extra consumers.
It wasn't. Well, it was popular with critics, not so much with consumers. That's basically it.
Alright,
Anyway.
good.
Was it difficult to simultaneously develop two games with such contrasting styles as Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey?
Well, in the past 20 years, I worked on so many different concepts, and among those concepts, Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon came about as a result of a progressive development that's ongoing inside my mind. Of course, I have other secret plans for various systems, and I'd love to have the chance to realize those concepts in the future.
Can you tell us a bit more about your collaboration with a certain Kyoto-based company?
Yes, we're working with Nintendo on a DS game called ASH, as you know. It's a good way, I'd say it's not a typical DS game. It's set in a world that's drawn with realistic graphics. I can't say much more right now.
I know
What's
which
that
game is.
worth?
I don't know. I didn't bother checking. Feel free to after this. So, what are your plans for Mistwalker's future?
We want to be a group that isn't afraid to walk through the mist. That's our objective. We want to walk where others haven't, and with a
Which
spirit
is
of
why we're
adventure.
making traditional RPGs. That's quite poetic. It is. We wish you well. Thanks. So there you
Jesus.
go. So there you go, everybody. I hope this gives you quite the insight on how much heart and soul it's like what you put into this game, I guess.
Who
There you
knows?
go. It's
Who knows?
called... hold on, give me a second.
Go ahead, too. Shouldn't take long, so I can save my story for
No,
later.
it's called ASH Arcade Sealed Heat. Was released only in Japan.
Oh, okay, I might as well explain that. Notice how those platforms that I literally just moved? That's the whole point. I'm trying to create a bridge at the center of the room so I can go through the door up until the boss that's at the end of this part. Anyway, okay. Here's a fun fact. The boss that you're going to see at the end of this part, I literally could not for the life of me defeat him in impossible mode. I tried, but it got to a point where I was just, fuck it. I'm just going to switch to easy mode. So here's what happens. I brought in my save file from the Xbox 360. So I figured here's how transferring Xbox 360 save files into the Xbox One work. What happens is you copy the save files into your cloud storage. You need to have much like with the PlayStation Plus, you have to have an Xbox Gold account to have cloud storage for your save files. But the advantage is when you put your save files on your cloud, you can after that transfer them to your Xbox One. Here's the problem though. Unlike with the PS3 and the PS4, it's not just a simple act of going into the menus and just go to the save files and just copy into the cloud and then copy back into a cloud. It's not that well. It works like that with the Xbox 360, not with the Xbox One though. First of all, the Xbox One does not have a way to back up save files into a USB pen. Or does? Why the hell you can't do that? It's anybody's guess, I guess. So I couldn't do that. But I figured, oh, it's okay. And the way you transfer the Xbox 360 save files into the Xbox One is you start a game on the Xbox One, and the game will automatically check your cloud storage, and if there are any save files, it's not even a matter of save files. What it does is it syncs up your Xbox One with whatever is on your cloud storage. As in, if you have a completed save file for this game on the Xbox 360 cloud, the Xbox One will automatically detect it and sync it with the data on the Xbox One, so you'll be able to play that data on the Xbox One. Simple, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. I even looked this up. Here's how that works. What it does is it's not just a simple process of copying data into the Xbox One. What it does is it syncs whatever is in the cloud storage of your Xbox One. It doesn't even allow you to choose if you want to do it or not. What does that mean is, let's say for example, you play the game like I was doing, and after that you start playing with your Xbox One offline because you don't want to bother with all the stuff. Because basically, if you leave your Xbox One offline, it starts up quicker because it's not trying to connect to the Xbox Live, so it's just much simpler, what I was doing. However, here's what happened. By that point, I had deleted my Blue Dragon save file from the cloud storage. However, after that, when I was trying to... Okay, let's see if I can transfer my save file from the One back into the cloud so that I can put it back on the 360. So after that, I can edit it, so I can put in the easy mode. Here's the problem. Instead, it not only does the Xbox One not allow you to transfer your save files, your 360 saves back into the cloud, it also, what it does is, since I started Blue Dragon online without and save in the cloud storage at this point when I was starting it. So what it did is, it synced the Xbox One with whatever save was in the cloud storage, aka none. As a result, it deleted my save file, and as a result, I was forced to start the whole game from the beginning so I could record the final part that we're going to do after this.
You really played for the entire game just to get back to here?
Yes. And it's and here's the thing. Remember, Jova, this is how the Xbox One works. If you start your Xbox 360 game on the One online, and if there's no save file, if the save file happens to be out of sync with the cloud because you played offline, because every time you start the Xbox 360 game, what it does is it automatically checks your cloud storage to make sure your save is synced with the cloud. However, if you start playing the 360 game offline, with the Xbox One disconnected, obviously will go out of sync, because it's not checking the cloud. So what it does is it basically checks that it finds that there's no save file in the cloud. Therefore, there will not be any save file, because what it does is it's just a stupid process of the Xbox One relying on the cloud storage for Xbox 360 save files. And as a result, if you're not careful, you can delete your own save. The Xbox One will delete your save file without even asking. It doesn't even give you a warning. By the way, if we do the cloud sync thing, your save file will be deleted. Are you sure you want to do this? It doesn't even ask it. It just automatically deletes it for you. And I didn't know this because silly me, Jova. You see, I was thinking it was like in the PS3 and PS4 and the Xbox 360, where you can just, manually copy and move data everywhere as you please. But no, it's all done automatically, and it's this stupid syncing process.
It wouldn't be that simple.
It's done in this stupid syncing process that it deleted my save file, and because of that, I was forced to start the game over again in easy mode and get back to this point. Ugh.
Did it take long?
No, it didn't, because I maxed myself out using the save editor, but still. Who the fuck thought this save system was a good idea?
I guess this one's on Microsoft and not Sakaguchi.
No, I'm blaming Microsoft for this. I'm not blaming Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon was made even before the Xbox One was. That's not the problem. It's just the way the Xbox One software is designed. Why can't we just copy the save into the cloud, or even better yet, copy it into an USB pen, and then transfer it into your Xbox One?
Well, you said it was that way for the Xbox.
Because it will be too easy.
So why can't it be the same? I don't understand. It's not a thing that needed to be changed.
Exactly. In the PS4, you can still copy your save files into pens and transfer them for the same. And you can, and the process of uploading on the PS4, uploading save data to the cloud storage is just as simple as just going to the menu, picking a save file of any game you have there, and just copy to cloud storage, and it will copy it. And that's it. And if you want to bring back the save file from the cloud into your console because you deleted it accidentally for some reason or some shit, just go to the cloud storage and copy it back again. It's as simple as copying and pasting a file on fucking Windows. But Microsoft decided to make the process so convoluted and arbitrary and devoid of normal user-friendly features. And like I said, thanks to I learned because of this, and I looked it up. If you're not careful with the way you use your Xbox One 360 cloud storage, you might accidentally delete your save files. So, well, so here
It doesn't even ask you though. That's
it just deletes it. It basically what it does is, Shiroi, it notices that there's no save files in the cloud storage, so it automatically assumes that okay, that's what it should be then. So whatever save file is on the Xbox One's hard drive gets replaced with whatever's on the cloud storage. In my case, nothing. I cannot believe someone actually programmed this and did not bat an eye at it.
That is pretty stupid that, they don't. Well, because, okay, look. Xbox is in a way where you can practically use any Xbox controller forever with the PC, so why couldn't they just do the same with the USB since it's all Microsoft technology?
I don't know, Jova. I have no I'm at a loss, Jova.
Like, seriously, okay, seriously. We're in a day and age where you can actually transfer your original team from Gen 1 of Pokemon all the way up to Gen 7. I mean, yes.
Yeah, thanks to Pokemon Bank.
I mean, yes, it's this. You may need multiple systems, but again, when Nintendo can have that much compatibility through all their generations of a game, what excuse do you have to not be able to transfer through 3 generations of game?
Nintendo's what Microsoft doesn't.
I guess.
It's so fucking stupid. I wish I knew this beforehand because silly me, Teo. I was thinking that if for some reason I was accidentally doing something that would delete my save file, the console would warn me about it. I guess I'm kind of stupid that way. I don't know.
Although, admittedly, I have to say that's kind of how I feel about Crash Insanity, that trilogy, because I sort of had a bad experience where they don't tell you that, okay, so you're overriding the autosave file. Okay, so I'm just left to believe that, okay, so that means they won't autosave anymore? No, apparently that means that your save file will get overridden and you have to disable overriding. And now my 100% save file is gone.
Wait. The Insane trilogy?
Basically, it's how they word it when they warn you, because, there are 2 options. You can start a new game, or you can continue. Now, there are 4 different save files for each game, so you figure, okay, so you start a new game. It says, oh, warning, your autosave file will be overridden. It's really hard to tell, though. I mean, it just says the autosave file.
At least they warn you.
No.
Well, at least they warn you.
Well, the problem is... yeah, I know the wording is off. It says, override the autosave, so... What? Am I left to believe that, okay, so it means it'll disable the autosave? No, that means it'll apparently override your save file altogether, and you have to...
So when you went to Crash 2 from 1, it overrides your save file from Crash 1?
No. It's when my sister was trying to start a new game on the Crash 1 section of the Insane trilogy.
Huh.
That's weird. Hopefully they fix that with a patch.
I mean, the problem is the wording because, okay, why don't they just say, hey, would you like to start using a new save file? Instead, they only give you the option to override the autosave file or disable autosaving. So which means you have to, I guess, manually then save there. It's like,
Or even better, though, why not just when you press new game, it asks you which of the 4 slots you want to save to?
I know, right? And yet, no, they say, warning, you may you may override your autosave file, so I have no idea what it means by autosave file, or disable autosaving. Like, those are literally the 2 options that I recall. Ugh. And now, well, looks like I'm back to 100% in Crash 1 again.
Because autosaving, because they say your autosave file, but autosaving is a function, not a type of file. So that's
Going back to the topic, though, I am at a loss how the hell Microsoft can screw up the simple fact of copying and pasting a file. I mean, why the hell can't this work properly like works with any other cloud storage service, which is just copy things from whatever you want to copy to? Why does it have this automatic convoluted syncing process that always syncs everything with whatever is on the cloud and whatever's left in the, or even better, like you could at least said the save file that's on the disk is different from the one that's on the storage. Would you like to? Therefore, it will be overwritten if you do sync. Would you like? Are you sure you want to continue? You know, some kind of thing. You know, some kind. It's terrible. It's terrible the software design. I can't believe. So, especially because, like I said, Microsoft got it right on the 360. Why not? Why can't the One do the same thing? Because the Xbox One does have USB ports, and yet you can't use them for anything outside from charging your controller. I don't get it.
Da-da. Well,
Go ahead, Jova.
Wow, this is getting depressing.
What is it?
I mean, wow, Microsoft are really just going downhill. Like, seriously, every time they seem like they have something of an advantage, there's just something stupid to drag it back down. Like, seriously, not even Nintendo doesn't have this much of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back mentality.
I mean, even the fucking Wii U has the basic process of copying a save file into a USB pen done properly. I mean, seriously, Nintendo, the company which consoles are always at least 5 years behind,
and yet
still...
are the most vulnerable when it comes to hacking the living shit out of them.
Oh, that's because they're 5 years behind too.
Thankfully, thankfully they seem to be
There is an advantage to them being slightly ahead, but also mostly behind.
Thankfully, with the Nintendo Switch, it at least seems to be definitely more on par with the competition now of this gen. And unlike most consoles, the Nintendo Switch now has the ability to take console-tier games on the go with you, which it turns out has gone quite a way, since apparently even Capcom are amazed that Ultra Street Fighter 2 managed to sell as well as it did. Yeah, thanks a lot, Capcom.
Capcom is still treading around the Switch just a little bit.
I just don't get it. Why would you base how well a Switch will sell based on, you know, a re-release of an old game like Street Fighter 2?
Well, consider another thing, Joe. Fighting games, when it comes to re-releases, that means we also receive a general balance for all of the main characters and usually have extra content, like in this case of Evil Ryu and Violent Ken, and some couple of extra modes.
Yeah.
Bad idea to base
So
Switch
technically,
support
it
as a
is
whole
a
off of that, though.
it is a re-release technically, but it brings something new to the table enough for fighting game fans to actually check it out.
I think the thing is that, though, it's such an old game, though, that it also runs the risk, because, again, we actually have a TV trope for this, that's actually based around Capcom. I believe it's called Capcom Sequel Stagnation. Basically, you know how Capcom's usual stick with releasing sequels is, hey, you know, this is actually a slight remake with a little bit of extra content added on. Like, seriously, Street Fighter 2 in and of itself has Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Supercharged 2, and now Ultra Super Street Fighters. It's like, heck, even the Ace Attorney games themselves are kind of...
There we go, guys. The bridge is done. We're done.
Oh.
I guess
I think basically to sum it up, though, people would have rather maybe a more current fighting game be on the Switch. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, please.
Mm-hmm.
You already have, well, it's a miracle already came on next generation platforms. Wanting of the Switch is overkill.
Not really. I mean, it
Well,
could run on the Switch. I mean, come on. If it could run on the PA...
it can, but is there like enough fan base to demand it?
For Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, already PS4 and Xbox One were an overkill because people wanted mainly only on PC.
Alright.
Quite a few people did want it on the consoles. It's just the fact that not many people were asking for it because online nowadays is more paid for than not. Except for on PC.
Okay, Pedro, so I guess it's the boss of Doom.
Yes, this is the boss that made me try to put my Xbox One save back on my 360, but during all that process, I learned that I can't. You can copy your 360 saves on the One, but you can't do it backwards. Why? Don't ask me. I ain't got a clue. You'd think it would be a relatively simple process. Just copy something and paste it. But I guess we can even get that properly
What are you doing?
I'm just, you know...
Notice
checking.
my directing?
Remember, Jova. Sakaguchi wants us to have a warm feeling after we finish this. That's why the dungeon is full of lava.
That's why
and
you
I'm
were
showing off
circling
how
the
warm it
camera
is.
around.
Isn't your heart feeling warm right now, Shiroi?
No.
And there's the incredibly convoluted mess of a design thing.
Yeah, even the game
Wait.
lampshades that.
Hold on. I wonder.
What? The robot centipede.
No, it couldn't be that stupid, could it? Okay. Could it be that stupid?
What?
Honestly, it looks similar more like to Mother Brain's ultimate form in Super Metroid.
I'm not talking about the boss's
Aside
look.
from the arms, obviously.
I'm not talking about the boss's look. I'm wondering
It
the.
uses a rainbow laser death beam.
Anyway, I wasn't talking about the boss's look when I said it can't be that stupid. I'm wondering. Is something.
So, can you target the single parts or just the main body?
No, it's only one target. It's not. I was thinking the same thing you were. Oh, let me guess. This boss is a 5-target thing. Surprisingly, no. It's just one target.
I don't know, Pedro. I usually take some enjoyment to see multiple part bosses just to
Oh no,
see
no.
how
That
to
can be done
dismantle
right.
one
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
one.
that can be done right. It's just that 14 did it horribly.
So.
Anyway.
I'm wondering. You know, it's.
The mode change. Yeah, see, this is where it starts. This it's this one.
Jesus.
And yeah, oh, trust me too. We're not at the worst part yet. But go ahead, Joe. I thought it was now, but never mind.
It's weird. Mara points out explicitly that Zola defeated Zabu, even though we know he can come back already. So, I'm wondering,
What?
is the reason he's back maybe having something to do with Zola instead this time? Like, I mean,
No, Zola said that it was Nane who brought him back, so since it happened also before, it must have happened this time too.
I get that. It's just, I get
I
that.
know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do, Joe. But honestly, at this point, I'm just going to.
What?
I'm just going to shut up and just not say anything anymore because I don't.
Wait, trying to do? What are you talking about?
Whatever. Moving on.
No. Okay. Basically, I'll say it outright. I mean, is something going on between Zola and Sabu or something? Like, is that what they're hinting at?
No, there's nothing going on between Zola and Zabo.
No, I don't mean it like that.
Look at that. And
Well,
actually,
already Jonas,
look at that. Look at that. C-Tail, literally 2 attacks in a row that do 800 damage.
yeah, that's bullshit.
And trust me, I
love how
tried.
I love how the game over screen is not even with caps. They didn't even bother. It's just a blank wall with no caps.
Well, Tail, not for nothing,
I'm
but
not
let's not
using it.
forget what the title. Not for nothing, Tail, but let's not forget what the title screen of this game looks like. Like I said, you're starting to see now what I. You're starting to see now what I said at the beginning of part 1. That title screen is the most appropriate title screen for this game. That white void with nothing in it, the perfect demonstration of the empty, shallow imagination employed within. It's perfect. It's perfect symbolism.
Alright then, see you for the finale then, I guess.
See you, everybody.
So yeah.